Hey guys, so I'm a little better off now. I got a little sleep. Like I said before, I went in. It was probably 9:30, quarter to 10 by the time I went in the house, and I'd say by 11 o'clock, 11:15, 11:30, I was asleep. I don't know exactly because I put on a new show that we're watching, and at some point, one of the episodes, I blinked, and now I'm awake. So. Um, I just didn't want to leave you guys with one video today. Uh, it's been, like I said, it's been a struggle to find the time to make content. So when I have the time and I have the energy, I want to do as much as I can for you guys. Exercise-wise, because of the schedule constraints, I've been doing walks whenever I can. If I go to the store, I walk to the store, stuff like that. Nothing terribly exciting. I haven't really been doing the running, not for any other reason than I'm just exhausted. It's a level of exhaustion I haven't felt in a long time because I'm not used to running this far into my energy reserves as I have been at work. I always work pretty hard, but it's been a different level lately. So that's the story as far as that goes. So as far as carnivore, I'm still I'm pretty much red meat. I live off of ground beef. I've said in other videos, 73% lean, 27% fat. It works for me. It's easy to prepare. I can break up a bunch into chunks, and in 5 or 6 minutes I have a meal. I could buy it in bulk for very inexpensive, and I find it delicious. My downfall is I have to be very careful because I enjoy the moisture of the rendered fat. So that's something I have to be very cautious of because it tends to give me a little diarrhea. But other than that, every so often I'll treat myself to a chuck steak. I have recently, you've seen the videos, treated myself to a couple of porterhouses. I do like them, but I'll be honest with you, I like the bone-in chuck better. But for some reason, the supermarkets by me don't always have them. And they used to be a lot less expensive. I don't know why they went up. None of the other meats went up, but bone-in chuck went from, I was getting it for like $4.99 on a regular, or $5.99 at its highest. Now it's $6.99, sometimes higher. So it's not really, as sad as it is to say, it's not really in the budget for me like it used to be. I used to buy the whole chuck roll and cut it up and have a million steaks, but now it's getting a little too expensive, and I don't have a BJ's or Costco membership, so that's not an option for me. And not everybody can afford to spend $80 on a membership and go to Costco, and I don't want to start portraying something that a regular person can't go out and do. You know what I mean? I'm not a rich guy faking this. Look at this. Glad I wasn't walking here before. Let me pick this up and get it off the sidewalk. I don't want some little kid to come running around and trip over this. It takes 2 seconds to be a decent human being. Maybe save somebody from a broken ankle or time off of work, or just scratching their leg. Some of the people who live here are elderly. I don't want them to get fucked up. Ooh, excuse me. I don't want them to get messed up. Because I was too stuck in my own world to take 2 seconds and clean that up. Didn't cost me anything for a little time. See? Much better. Alright, well, slipped and cursed a little bit. My normal way of speaking is a lot more R-rated than I portray in this video, so I apologize for that. But I do not post these videos for children. I'm not a big fan of posting food choices and dietary ideas for children. I just don't think it's the right thing to do. So all my videos, when I create them, say not for children. If adults see them and they want to make an educated choice and take their kids off certain types of foods or whatever, that's up to them. I don't feel it's my place to do that. So for my videos, it's strictly for people that are, old enough to make that decision in my mind. 18 plus at the bare minimum. So, so that's that. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I'm pretty much doing just chop meat, which it almost seems to be controversial. I guess people think because I'm eating chop meat that I'm not getting the nutrients that I need. But I've been doing carnivore now for 17 or 18 months. I'd say more than half of that, or just about half of that, I've been doing it on ground beef. So if I feel like if there was going to be any negative effects, I would see them already. And keep in mind, while eating ground beef, I'm running a 15 to 17 hour day. I'm working a very physical job. I'm keeping up with my family life, I'm keeping up with my son, and now I'm doing overtime and all these other things. So if you think it can't be done, then you're mistaken, because I feel really good. I'm satisfied. I came home from work. I ate at about 9 o'clock this morning. It's just about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm still not hungry. I probably won't eat again till 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. I usually get to work around 9:30, and that's when I'll eat before I go out for my shift, and then I'm good until morning. So for those disbelievers, that's my honest schedule. The nature of my job, I can't really take videos at work. It's frowned upon as far as electronic devices being used, and they definitely don't want any videotape. I'm allowed in areas of my job that the general public is not. Not that my quarters is necessarily top secret or anything like that, but just like most of y'all, I don't want to lose my job, so that's not going to be a thing. And I'm trying to keep, you try to be as professional as possible at your job. So that's what I do. So, like I was saying, if your thought is that you need to do ribeye, if you watch YouTube, you'll see a million people out there. Oh, I got 15 pounds of ribeye. I got 15 pounds of sirloin. They're eating all these expensive steaks. I saw one doctor treating himself to Wagyu beef, and he specifically said that it wasn't something he does all the time. He just wanted to try it. But I'm not eating Wagyu beef. If I treat myself to a ribeye a couple times a year, that's a lot for me. And to be honest with you now, chuck steak is my treat. So my main concern is that people out there that are getting by financially and just want to make a healthier choice. There is a way to do this, and there's a cheaper way to do it. I got something in my shoe. I'm not going to do chicken as a primary meal. I may from time to time have some chicken. I don't have a issue with chicken, but I'm coming from a place of healing. I'm coming from a place of pain. I'm coming from a place of sickness, and if I'm going to do this, I want to get as much health benefit out of this as humanly possible. And not that I'm the most intelligent man on the planet, but my understanding is that beef is the most nutrient dense. If I could afford to do it and it wouldn't kill my budget, I would definitely do grass-fed, grass-finished, because not that it's a huge difference, but it just puts you over the top a little bit, and I want every advantage I can afford. But at the same time, I really don't want to put myself where people see my content and they think to themselves, oh well, I can't do that. My sister, you guys heard me talk about her before. She's in the hospital still. She's been in the hospital 7 or 8 months now. She's fighting a lot of different things. She's got I don't think they know exactly what's going on with her. She's not a healthy woman to begin with. She has some heart issues, And then she got cellulitis, which is a skin infection. But much like me, she's hard-headed, so she didn't deal with it right away. And the infection, from what I'm understanding from her description, is it got into her system and got into her bones. So it's really kicking the hell out of her. For a little while there, I didn't think she was ever going to come home. It's starting to look like she might come home. I don't really agree with that. I don't really agree with her coming home. But at this point, I don't know what's worse. Her coming home and possibly having her health take a turn for her in a bad direction, or her staying in the hospital and it breaking her mentally, because she's been there a very long time and it's not easy. For anybody who spent any significant time in the hospital, I spent a week in the hospital, and on day 4 I was mentally prepared to run for the hills. She's like, she's been in the hospital half the time I've been on carnivore. So she's very strong mentally, but I've had a couple of conversations where I felt like she was borderline ready to give up. And when you're really sick, giving up is more detrimental than the doctors making mistakes or not getting treated. So I don't know. We'll see what the future holds for her. Like I said, she's only a few years older than me. I think she's 7 years older than me, and she's just not healthy. She's struggling. She's my only sister. I have brothers, but me and my sister have a different relationship. We're a little tighter. If you asked me 30 years ago if I would be closer with my sister than my brothers, I would have told you you're out of your mind. But a couple of things have changed. One, she has calmed down a lot. She was maniacal. I still loved her, but she was a lot. And 2, she moved 800 miles away, and an 800-mile buffer isn't a bad thing sometimes. But it's given us the opportunity to be out of each other's face and just have regular conversations. And like I said, she's humbled a lot. I've humbled a lot. We came from rough upbringings, and we were animals being set free on the world. So it's just nice to have a relationship with her, and I try to be there for as much as possible. But I'm getting way off topic. My point in talking about her is I'm really starting to annoy her about carnivore, because everything that she's got going on, I honestly feel like carnivore would help. Carnivore, ketovore, any of these options. And my reason for saying that is, some of you already heard that I did an interview with Kerry Mann. It hasn't come up yet. You're not missing it. It's just he's backlogged, so it's going to be a little bit. I don't know if you ever watched his video, but he does a lot of content. So mine's coming in order, and we did a long interview, so it'll be there soon enough. And he said this before we made the video. He said if there's good portions to it, he may break it up and make a couple of videos out of it, which would be fantastic. But our interview went over an hour, so I'm sure he's got plenty of stuff. And then me and him kind of connected after the fact. It was he was very happy with the video. We had a great time talking, and there's a lot of similarities there. So I'm sure his content is going to be a little more coming out of that video than most. So we're waiting for that. But my reason for bringing him up is Kerry Mann, who's on Homestead How. He had massive heart issues. I don't remember the exact details, but I know his ejection fraction was way off. He had congestive heart failure, and he had depression and a lot of other stuff going on. I'm sure my sister's depressed. I know she has congestive heart failure, and she has all these infections going on, and I know her diet is horrendous, especially in the hospital. I'm disgusted with what they feed them. My sister's a cancer survivor. She had throat cancer quite a few years ago. So she has some issues with swallowing and stuff like that. So I don't know that red meat's the answer for her. And because at different points in our life we came up very poor, and there was a lot of chicken being served, because that was back then you can get chicken for 69 cents a pound. Um, we ate chicken almost every night when it was available. So she's not a big fan of chicken. You know, she has a little bit of an aversion to chicken, so it'd be red meat or it'd be lamb. And she's on public assistance, so there's not a lot of money for food. So that's something I'm gonna have to address with her, and she's tired of hearing me say it. She's actually to the point where if I even bring it up, she gets a little mean. So I avoid the topic right now, and I'm hoping, which I think it is, that this experience in the hospital on its own is going to change her way of thinking, because I don't think she's got another round of this in her. I mean, how many of us would? How many of us could spend 7 months in the hospital, 8 months in the hospital? She went in before December, I think. Definitely before Christmas. She spent Christmas in the hospital. And she was in and out a couple of times before that, before it got really bad. So, I'm about as strong-willed a person as there is. You know, my determination is crazy, and my survival instinct is through the roof. You know, I've been through some things, and I refuse to go down. But 7 months in the hospital, that's a rough one. You know, and there's times where she's swollen 3 times life size. You know, it's not easy for her. So for those who are subscribing, please, you know, I'm not a super religious person, but I'm praying for her. If you would mind saying a prayer for my sister. She hopefully, they said she might be coming home the next week or two if she doesn't have any more flare-ups. The issue I have with that is they're giving her hope where she's had flare-ups every week since she's been in the hospital. So I'm not 100% sure why they have the comfort level to say something like that to her. But it is what it is. You know, maybe they're reaching a point where there's not much they can do for her. They have been sending her from where she is to Boston and back on a few occasions because there's better specialists in Boston. But you know, it's hard to say what's gonna happen there. But that's the story with her. I'm hoping she jumps on this carnivore thing because the healing properties in this carnivore diet are spectacular, and I think she would do really well with it. I think it would be the answer for her health issues. But like everybody else in my family, if she doesn't decide to do it, you're not talking her into it. So sorry about the sun glare, guys. It's just the kind of day that it is. So that's the story anyway. That's my my budget-friendly way of eating. That's what's going on personally. My son is doing very well. For those of you who remember, he had 5 or 6 teeth pulled. 6 teeth. He had 4 wisdom teeth and 2 baby teeth pulled. The last time I saw him was last weekend, and he was chewing meat. Was still. I bought him a porterhouse to kind of welcome him back into the fold, because he had to eat differently because of the extractions. But he got about halfway through a porterhouse. He's like, "Dad, this is starting to hurt. If you want to finish the steak, I can't eat it." So of course, you know, it was a hardship, but I finished his porterhouse for him. It was a struggle. You know what I mean? I didn't want to do it. It was really hard to eat another piece of a porterhouse, but I fought through it. But hopefully he's through that. Now he's working. He just got a job at AutoZone. He's 19, so that's a perfectly good job for him. He's got benefits. He's got 401k. He's got paid sick leave and some vacation time that he'll receive. And they just have an overall good program. I don't know that it's his end-all be-all career. I have other plans for him, but in the meantime, until the other plans kick in, this is a great place for him to be. And he's always had a love for cars. He's been working on cars with me since he was 7 years old. So I think it'll be a good fit to learn more. And now he has a car. He can maybe get a discount on parts. I don't know if they offer that or not, but he'll get some discounts on. Hopefully, get some discounts on stuff to be able to put his car together the way he likes it. So that's the story. That's what I got going on. And I told you earlier about my work schedule. So I think that's it for the walk for this afternoon. I got to start getting ready for work, Ron. It's crazy. They say I don't have to be in work till 10 o'clock. I gotta start getting ready at 5:15, 5:30. I don't know what I'm doing sometimes, but I love my job. I love the people I work with, and in New York, it's one of the better jobs you can have. I didn't say it's the best paying job, but as far as stability, I never have to go on another job interview again. As long as I kind of, color between the lines, which isn't hard. I'll always have a job and a pension. So that's the story. I'm gonna go inside. Nicole is sleeping. She's having a hell of a day today. I'm gonna cater to her a little bit. If she needs anything, if she wakes up and wants anything, I'm gonna take care of that. I don't want to leave her hanging. This looks to be about a 20-minute video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It is nice to be back. I'm gonna try to do this as much as possible, but I just got the word this morning there's probably gonna be more overtime this weekend. So of course, I can't leave that money on the table. I'm not a money chaser, but I am a provider. I like my time. I like to be comfortable. I like to spend time with my family. But I have a huge dental bill I gotta pay down, and I just like to enjoy life a little bit too. So I gotta make the money where I can. And it's not cheap to live in New York. Anybody who thinks it is, move here for 6 months. You'll go back to wherever it is you came from. All right. Again, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sticking through these videos with me, and thank you for the motivation. All right, y'all. Let me get back to my regular scheduled life. I'll talk to you soon. Stay healthy.